morning, breaking news in the legal battle between two of Hollywood's biggest stars. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie finally reaching a divorce settlement after 8 years.
Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie's daughter Shiloh has made her name change official.
Brad Pitt's daughter Shiloh has made a shocking move that's catching everyone's attention. While she's always been close to her father, her recent decision has left many wondering what's really going on behind the scenes. By choosing to distance herself in such a bold way, she's opened up a lot of questions about the state of their relationship. What led her to make such a significant change now? Could this mark a turning point in the Pitt family saga? Hollywood's golden couple turned sour. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, often referred to as Hollywood's golden couple, seem to embody the perfect blend of glamour, talent, and purpose. Their love story began in 2005 on the set of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, a film that showcased their undeniable chemistry. While the movie became a box office hit, the sparks that flew between Brad and Angelina captured even greater attention. Reflecting on their connection in a 2007 interview with Vogue, Jolie remarked, "Because of the film, we ended up being brought together to do all these crazy things, and I think we found this strange friendship and partnership that kind of just suddenly happened. It was a partnership that quickly blossomed into one of the most celebrated unions in Hollywood." Both had already experienced the highs and lows of marriage. Pitt had previously been married to Friends star Jennifer Aniston, a relationship that ended in 2005 amidst swirling rumors of his growing bond with Jolie. Meanwhile, Jolie had been married twice before, first to actor Jonny Lee Miller from 1996 to 2000, and then to Billy Bob Thornton from 2000 to 2003. As their relationship gained momentum, so did their commitment to building a family together. In 2002, Angelina adopted her first child, Maddox, from Cambodia a few months after his birth. Brad officially adopted Maddox after their relationship began, solidifying their bond as a family. In 2005, they expanded their family by adopting Zahara, a baby girl from Ethiopia. Their joy multiplied when Angelina gave birth to their first biological child, Shiloh, in Namibia in 2006. The couple's dedication to their children mirrored their shared passion for humanitarian work. Together, they became advocates for global causes, traveling to remote regions to shed light on issues like refugee crises, conservation, and poverty. Their union was not just a love story, but a partnership committed to making a difference. The family continued to grow, adopting Pax from Vietnam in 2007 and welcoming twins, Knox and Vivian, in 2008. Despite their fame, Brad and Angelina worked to create a sense of normalcy for their children, celebrating their diverse cultural backgrounds and instilling values of compassion and resilience. However, cracks in their seemingly perfect relationship began to show. In 2015, the couple made their final red carpet appearance together for the film By the Sea, a story about an unhappily married couple. Jolie, who wrote and directed the film, admitted in an interview with The Telegraph, "Brad and I have our issues. We have fights and problems like any other couple. We have days when we drive each other absolutely mad and want space, but the problems in the movie aren't our specific problems." The candid admission hinted at underlying tensions, but few could have predicted the dramatic turn their relationship would take. In September 2016, Jolie filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. The news came as a shock to many, as the couple had been regarded as the epitome of a modern Hollywood love story. The unraveling of Brad and Angelina's marriage not only marked the end of a Hollywood fairy tale, but also revealed the darker side of their split and how it reshaped their family dynamics. Jolie-Pitt battle heats up. As the golden glow of Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie's Hollywood romance began to fade, shocking allegations added a new layer of complexity to their story. Angelina, in a legal filing during their divorce proceedings, claimed that Brad verbally and physically abused her and their children during a private plane flight on September 14, 2016. These allegations shook not only the family, but also the public's perception of the once-admired couple. The specific incident, which allegedly unfolded during a flight from France to Los Angeles, became a central point of contention. According to Jolie's claims, the altercation began when Brad, under the influence of alcohol, accused her of being too deferential to the children. The situation escalated rapidly, with Jolie asserting that Brad grabbed her by the head and shoulders, shaking her before pushing her into a bathroom wall. Court documents described a deeply troubling scene. After Jolie left the bathroom, one of their children verbally intervened, only for Brad to allegedly lunge at them. Jolie claims she tried to intervene by holding him back, but he threw himself backwards, injuring her in the process. The situation reportedly spiraled further, with Brad choking one child, striking another, and pouring beer and red wine on both Jolie and the children. These details, unveiled through court filings tied to a separate lawsuit over their French winery, Chateau Miraval, painted a harrowing picture of that day. Jolie's legal team stated that the children, aged between 8 and 15 at the time, bravely tried to protect each other during the chaotic altercation. For the remainder of the flight, the family reportedly sat in silence, wrapped in blankets, while Brad occasionally emerged to yell and swear at them. While these allegations were deeply disturbing, Brad denied the claims and maintained his innocence. He refrained from speaking publicly about the details, expressing a desire to keep family matters private. A source close to the actor labeled Jolie's account as false, accusing her of revising and embellishing the events. The allegations led to an investigation by the FB1 in 2016, but authorities ultimately decided not to press charges. Despite the legal outcome, the incident became a defining moment in the couple's contentious divorce, casting a shadow over their public image. For Angelina, the allegations were not just about seeking justice, but also about protecting her children from what she described as an environment of pain and fear. Her legal team stated that her decision to sell her stake in the Chateau Miraval vineyard was partially driven by discomfort with participating in an alcohol-related business, given Brad's struggles with alcohol abuse. Brad, for his part, acknowledged his challenges with alcohol, revealing in a 2019 interview with the New York Times that he had joined Alcoholics Anonymous after their separation. The fallout from these allegations divided fans and media alike. Some rallied behind Jolie, admiring her determination to shield her children from harm. Others stood by Brad, viewing him as a father fighting to maintain his bond with his children amid a messy public split. The allegations also revealed the tension between the former couple over their shared assets, including the Miraval estate. Once a symbol of their love, they were married there in 2014, the estate became a battleground. As the legal battles raged on, the impact of these allegations went beyond courtroom filings and public statements. The divorce and its fallout fractured the bond between Brad and his children, shaping their decisions and loyalties in the years that followed. Years of legal turmoil. The end of Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie's marriage marked the beginning of a prolonged and emotionally draining legal battle that seemed to stretch on indefinitely. As the divorce proceedings unfolded, the world watched as two of Hollywood's most famous figures waged a bitter battle over custody of their 6 children, assets, and even personal dignity. In the middle of this, the couple had already experienced some ups and downs that suggested a fragile bond. Their final red carpet appearance together in November 2015 seemed to foreshadow the inevitable split. However, no one expected the storm that followed. The custody battle in particular would prove to be one of the most painful aspects of their divorce. While both parties sought to maintain some involvement in their children's lives, Angelina's desire for sole custody became one of the central issues. She fought relentlessly to protect the children from further emotional strain, ensuring that they were shielded from the complexities of their parents' ongoing dispute. On the other hand, Brad sought to maintain a relationship with his children, which included spending as much time with them as possible. In April 2019, after years of back-and-forth negotiations, a judge finally ruled that the couple could be legally single before their divorce settlement was finalized. This decision, known as bifurcation, allowed both Brad and Angelina to move forward with their personal lives and even potentially remarry, though the divorce proceedings and custody arrangements were far from resolved. The process, however, remained far from simple. In June 2018, a ruling established a detailed schedule for Brad to spend time with the children, except for Maddox, who by then was an adult. Brad gained additional time with the kids in May 2021, a move that offered a glimmer of hope that the situation might be improving. But only 2 months later, the situation took another turn. The California 2nd District Court of Appeal sided with Jolie, ruling that the judge overseeing the case, John Outerkirk, had violated ethical obligations due to a previous business relationship with Brad's attorneys. The ruling overturned the custody arrangement and further delayed the resolution of the family's struggles. Brad's team expressed disappointment with the decision, with a source close to him telling People magazine, "Brad believes there is overwhelming evidence that the current situation isn't good for the kids. This just sets things back for everyone." The couple's financial disputes also became a major source of conflict, particularly over their shared property and assets. One of the most contentious issues, as we mentioned earlier, involved their French estate and vineyard, Chateau Miraval. Brad and Angelina had bought the property in 2008, and it became an important symbol of their relationship, having even served as the backdrop for their wedding in 2014. In October 2021, Angelina made the decision to sell her stake in the winery to Tenuta del Mondo, a division of the Stoli Group. This sale, however, was not without its own drama. Brad accused Angelina of violating a previous agreement between them, which stated that they both needed approval to sell their shares in the vineyard. He filed a lawsuit in February 2022, claiming that Angelina's sale damaged the company's reputation by selling her shares to a stranger. He suggested that the transaction was done in secret with the intent to inflict harm on him. In retaliation, Angelina's legal team filed a countersuit alleging that Brad was engaged in a vindictive war against her. Her business, Nouvelle, sought $250 million in damages, claiming that Brad had masterminded a plan to seize control of Chateau Miraval after their split. For many observers, the winery dispute seemed to reflect the underlying tensions that had plagued their marriage. A source close to Angelina asserted that Brad's legal maneuvers were part of a broader strategy to silence her about the abuse claims she had made. According to the source, Brad allegedly demanded that Angelina agree to a non-disclosure agreement that would prevent her from discussing the alleged abuse in exchange for finalizing the sale of her stake in the vineyard. Brad's team, however, denied that the Miraval lawsuit had anything to do with their divorce or personal matters, asserting that the NDA was solely related to protecting financial interests surrounding the property. By the time a resolution seemed within reach, the toll of the years-long battle had been deeply felt by all involved. On December 30th, 2024, a judge finally signed off on the divorce, marking the end of a bitter chapter that had spanned nearly a decade. In a statement, Angelina's lawyer, James Simon, shared that while the process had been exhausting, it was a necessary step in the healing journey for the family. Angelina has focused on finding peace and healing for their family. This is just one part of a long, ongoing process that started 8 years ago, Simon explained. Frankly, Angelina is exhausted, but she is relieved this one part is over. While the legal battles and emotional toll on the family seemed to settle for a moment, a deeper strain emerged within the children themselves. The rift between Brad and his children. The separation of Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie set in motion not only a contentious divorce, but also a deeper, more personal rift within their family. Their 6 children, now aged between 16 and 23, found themselves caught in a whirlwind of emotional upheaval. As the years have gone by, it has become evident that the children have distanced themselves from their father, with reports indicating their unwavering loyalty to Angelina. "It's been a very emotional and complicated divorce settlement," said showbiz journalist Gene Wolfe. "It's taken a big toll on the children and the couple involved." While the details of the divorce were never fully aired out in public, the emotional fallout has been significant. As of now, the children are busy in their lives as young adults, and the emotional complexity of their situation is evident. The pain of seeing their parents go through such a difficult and public process has not been easy. Even more telling, however, is the way in which the children have made their feelings known through personal actions. For instance, Zahara, the couple's 19-year-old daughter, recently made headlines when she dropped her father's surname, removing Pitt from her name entirely. This symbolic move spoke volumes about her feelings toward the ongoing family drama. Zahara, who now identifies as Zahara Marley Jolie, made this personal change public during her induction into the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority at Spelman College. As she stood before her peers, she proudly introduced herself without the Pitt name. a powerful statement of her desire to distance herself from the complex history she shares with her father. The children, having grown up in the spotlight, have been painfully aware of the power dynamics at play. In this sense, while the kids have rarely spoken publicly about their father, their actions, like Zahara's choice to drop his surname, speak volumes. Despite their silence on the matter, it's clear that each of them has been processing the family's turmoil in their own way. For the younger children who are still under the custody arrangements, there have been reports of minimal contact with Brad, especially as he focused on his career. This estrangement is not simply about distance in terms of geography or contact, it's about the emotional rift that has grown between Brad and his children over the years. While Brad may still have visitation rights with his two youngest children, Vivian and Knox, the family dynamics have shifted significantly since the divorce proceedings began. While the children's loyalty to their mother has been unwavering, it's important to understand the deeper reasons behind their actions. Their desire to protect their mother stems not only from their personal experiences, but from a broader sense of justice and the need to shield her from further pain. The ongoing legal battles and the public scrutiny have only intensified the need for the children to take a stand, even if that means distancing themselves from their father. As the emotional rift deepens between Brad and his children, questions arise about the lasting impact of this family's turmoil. A daughter's shocking decision. In a concerning moment that highlighted the deepening rift within the Jolie Pitt family, Shiloh Jolie Pitt made a bold and personal decision. At the age of 18, Shiloh officially dropped her father's surname, signaling a shift in her identity and aligning herself with her mother, Angelina Jolie. Her choice followed a pattern established by her older sister Zahara, who also removed the Pitt name from her own. For Shiloh, this decision wasn't made in haste or out of malice, but rather as a deeply personal act of independence and solidarity with her family. Shiloh's name change, which was made official through a court ruling on a Monday morning, marked a significant moment in the ongoing family drama. Her legal request to remove her father's surname had initially been made on her birthday in May. The petition, which was filed privately, was eventually granted, and Shiloh's name became Shiloh Nouvelle Jolie, free of her father's last name. This act of separation extended beyond the legal documents. Shiloh had even paid for her own attorney, taking matters into her own hands in a way that many found both empowering and heartbreaking. Sources close to Shiloh revealed that she had not informed her mother, Angelina, of her decision to take this step. Instead, Shiloh took charge of the process herself, hiring her own lawyer and funding it from her own pocket. This independent act suggested that Shiloh was asserting control over her own life, wanting to make choices that reflected her sense of self without being influenced by her parents' ongoing battle. While this shift in her name may appear to some as just a simple legal matter, it was in fact a symbolic gesture of distancing herself from the turbulence of her father's public persona. In California, part of the process for changing one's name involves publishing a notice in a local newspaper. Shiloh took this step with her petition appearing in the Los Angeles Times over several weeks, signaling to the public her decision to move forward with this change. This decision did not come in a vacuum. As part of a family that has been thrust into the limelight due to their famous parents' contentious divorce, Shiloh has had to face a complex emotional trauma. Although the children have rarely spoken out about their feelings toward their father, their actions have been loud enough to speak volumes. Shiloh's choice to adopt her mother's last name is one among several powerful acts of defiance and self-definition within the Jolie Pitt children. Zahara's decision to drop her father's surname during her induction into the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority was another such moment. Similarly, Shiloh's Instagram handle, SheJolie, further cemented her identification with her mother. The decision to remove the Pitt surname reflects not only Shiloh's personal wishes, but also a larger family dynamic that has been strained by years of public drama and legal battles. Shiloh, who grew up in the public eye, is now at an age where she can make her own decisions about her identity, and she chose to express solidarity with her mother, who has shouldered much of the public scrutiny throughout the divorce. As a young adult, Shiloh's actions reflect an evolving sense of self, one that recognizes the complexity of her family history but seeks to find peace and clarity in her own journey. This decision also speaks to the emotional complexity of Shiloh's position within the family. Despite the rift between her and her father, Shiloh has reportedly expressed sadness over the estrangement. An insider shared that Shiloh, though firmly aligned with her mother, still feels compassion for her father. She is not trying to hurt her dad's feelings, the source explained. She has sympathy that he's estranged from some of her siblings, but she idolizes her mom and is just doing what feels comfortable. It's clear that Shiloh's decision to change her name was not made lightly. She faces the dual challenge of navigating her relationship with both parents, all while dealing with the intense media attention that has followed her family for years. As the youngest of the Jolie Pitt children, Shiloh stands at the crossroads of childhood and adulthood, grappling with her identity amidst the complexities of her family's publicized struggles. At this moment, Shiloh's act of dropping her father's surname is not just about a name, it's a reflection of her desire to carve out her own space in the world. It signifies a symbolic shift in the family dynamic, with each child in their own way beginning to separate themselves from the intense public scrutiny that has defined their lives. For Shiloh, this decision marks the beginning of a new chapter, one in which she can define her identity on her own terms, free from the weight of her parents' past decisions. Shiloh's heartfelt decision signals a turning point in the Jolie Pitt saga, where the children's personal choices reflect the emotional toll of growing up in the shadow of their parents' turmoil. Shiloh, once the closest to her father, made a bold decision to remove Brad's surname, showing just how deep the family rift really runs, far beyond what we see on screen. It's a powerful statement that things are more complicated than they appear. Do you think the children's choice to distance themselves from their father by dropping his name is the right move? Let us know your thoughts in the comments.